Hey boys and girls, welcome to my recap of season 13, episode 6 of The Bachelorette. Rachel must have been having some Martin flashbacks last night because she told a whole lot of people to get to stepping. She started off with Lee. Rachel, Lee, and Kenny are out in the Norwegian wilderness. She's heard both sides of the men's stories of what's going on in the house. Lee is lying about everything, the most egregious part of which is he says Kenny tried to pull him out of a van, which is ludicrous. Rachel talks to Kenny afterward and she goes back with a rose. She says between the two men's stories, she believes Kenny, but she's not sure if she likes Kenny enough to give him a rose. Rachel and Kenny walk off. Before Kenny gets in the helicopter, he's like, wait a second, I gotta go talk to Lee. About what? He went to talk about nothing. He wanted to go tell Lee about himself one last time as if that was going to have an impact on him. Later, he explained, he was like, I'm a very verbal person, but Rachel wasn't trying to hear that. She's like, I'm very annoyed. What is it possibly that he has to say? And then when he's finally done, he goes back to Rachel and he gets in the helicopter. Wait, they gonna fly off and leave this man in the wilderness? Rachel seems to be sitting at home, I guess, and there's a knock on the door. It's Kenny. He's come by for his one-on-one time. He keeps talking about what Rachel can do for his daughter. He really doesn't talk about how magical and wonderful she would be as a partner to him. It's wrong that, or I kind of felt like he's looking for a come up a little bit. After her chat with Kenny, it's time for the rose ceremony. Rachel is just all night. I wasn't really surprised that Josiah went home right before he didn't get a rose. He was just running his mouth nonstop. And I'm almost embarrassed that I was team Josiah at one point. Josiah on his way out, he has more to say. He was like, hold up, the guy that brought the dummy in the house, the ventriloquist gets to stay over me? Josiah was dead on about that one. I mean, broken clocks are right twice a day. You kept the ventriloquist guy over Josiah or Anthony. I'm not really sure what's going on in Rachel's head right now. So they're country hopping and the next stop is Denmark. Rachel's first mission is a one-on-one with Eric. Their date looks awesome. Eric shows up with amazing energy. He's a really fun guy, which I haven't seen that side of him before. They're walking around the city, taking in the sights. They stumble up on hot tubs. I'm like, yes, I'm about that life. Like I need to get to Copenhagen with haste. While they're in the hot tub, some guy like stands up and flashes them. Rachel turns to Eric and says, your turn. And you can see this flash across Eric's face where he considered it. The second part of their date is going to an amusement park. And I love amusement parks. Everyone keeps asking me where I got my mug. I got it from Walt Disney World. They go to this amusement park at night. They're doing bumper cars. They're getting on the, what's that called? The thing. It was awesome. And I wanted to be on that date. Eric had really great energy. They have a romantic dinner. I think it's at the amusement park. Eric says that he's never been in love and that he never felt love for his mother. He says being with Rachel feels really good and it's a new feeling for him, but he likes it. Before Rachel, when he felt he was falling for someone, he would close himself off and back away, but he's trying to do something different now. I love it when guys are vulnerable like that. I love it when they talk about changing and growing, but you have some deep-seated issues with your mom. Unfortunately, that's not just something you can will away. I just wonder if Eric has received any therapy. I don't want Rachel to be in a relationship with someone who hasn't done their own work. Because Rachel in an earlier episode talked about going to therapy, which I advocate for everyone. I like him. I do. I actually like him, but I don't want them together. It's time for the group date, and the guys are going to take a Viking ship to an island. Can I tell you that I loved watching the men row? Like, it's just so sexy, just all the muscles in the back. The guys row themselves to an island and they're going to participate in Viking Olympics. The two best guys are going to have a face-off and whoever wins that wins Rachel's heart. After a series of games, it boils down to Kenny and Adam having a sword and shield fight. This is like the biggest letdown ever. The last couple episodes, ABC has been running previews that show Kenny with a big gash over his head. And it was heavily implied that Lee had something to do with that gash. It turns out that Kenny and Adam have a sword and shield fight and they both hit each other in the face with shields and they both end up with gashes. I know ABC wants to drive viewers and keep people tuning in, but you hyped it up so much and then what actually happened was so far left. It was underwhelming because I'm expecting like level 10 drama and what I got was two guys who really accidentally hit each other in the face with their shields. Kenny, who all episode has been talking about how he doesn't feel like he's in the right place with Rachel, he's the one that wins the competition. After the group date, it's time for cocktail hour. Rachel first meets with Brian. They have marvelous chemistry. They had an amazing date for the previous episode. Rachel asked him point blank, is your family gonna receive me well, being a black woman? He's like, yeah, like my family loves me. They'll accept you 1000%. Black ain't a problem on our end, A-okay. And she also says that she feels like Brian accepts her 100%, 24/7, and she's never felt that before. You know, I'm Team Brian right now. I do kind of think Brian is a little bit of a playboy, but he's so damn fun. Just be engaged to him. Like, you don't have to marry him, but you can have a good run of fun with that. Like, that's a playground of person. I really hope that he is genuine and is what he seems. I really like him. You see me rooting for him, but you know, just like Josiah, if he started messing up, I will change my mind in a minute. Rachel also meets with Kenny. They have a very open conversation about where Kenny feels he is with Rachel, and he tells her that he doesn't feel that he is where he should be. He also talks about missing his daughter a lot. Rachel levels with him. She's like, I think you're a really great guy, but I think you should go home to your daughter. Kenny agrees, and just like that, he's gone. Afterward, Rachel cries because she says he's such a good guy, which I think he is. I don't think Kenny has a malicious bone in his body. So Rachel has a one-on-one with Will. They take a boat over to Sweden. They walk around the city. It's gorgeous, but there's no chemistry. She says the most that they do is hold hands, and even that feels a little forced to her. At one point in the day, they're standing on a bridge. They're overlooking the city. I think they're even at a castle. Will might as well have been up there with his homeboy. Rachel feels a way about it. Like, she feels like, I don't really feel that he's physically attracted to me. So over dinner, she asked him, how are you usually in a relationship? And he says, oh, I'm very passionate, like I'm very physical. Rachel kind of gets the hint that you're not really into me. She asked him what kind of women that he dates, and he says that he typically dates white women, not exclusively. Honestly, he looked like he dates white girls, and white people are gonna be mad at me for saying that, but every black woman knows exactly what I'm talking about. He grew up in a white neighborhood, he went to white schools, and that's who was available. Here's the real gang. Back at the house, the guys are talking. Eric says that Will only dates white women. And then Eric says, yeah, I told Will he should confess that to Rachel. The look on Rachel's face when he said he usually only dates white women, I'm like, you really can't be mad about that though, ma'am, because you're on a show. And amongst this group, you are showing a preference for the non-black men, but she's predominantly dated black men. And she sort of ties those two things together and gets that Will is not into her. To his credit, Will apologizes. He says, no, that's not the intention that he meant to give off. They're talking. I thought they were compromising. Will was agreeing to do better. And then Rachel just drops the magic words. Can I walk you out? Rachel clearly knows her worth. She's not here for trying to convince someone to be attracted to her, be into her. And she's like, I get it. You ain't feeling me? Well, then we just need to move on and keep it pushing to people who are. Bye, Will. Now it's time for yet another rose ceremony. We've gone whole episodes without a rose ceremony, and now we're getting 2 in one night. There are 4 roses. Rachel is very emotional because at this point, the guys have been around for a significant amount of time. She has feelings. She has a connection with different people. She likes them for different reasons. And she knows that to send someone home is to reject them and hurt their feelings. So she is a little sensitive about it. At one point, she's so emotional, and she says she doesn't like to be emotional, that she walks off. And the guys just all stand there in a row. No one thought, let me go after the crying woman and comfort her. Maybe production told them they couldn't move. But I don't want no man that sees me crying and just stands there. Like, all of them dudes would have been sent home if that was me. All of y'all can go. I want a new batch of men because these men ain't emotionally connected. They don't care enough. Help me. Something. Rachel composes herself and eventually comes back in the room. Sister Rachel, I don't know what you're thinking. You sent Alex home? Alex? Have you seen Alex? Girl. And the ventriloquist is still sitting up in the house, and Alex is packing his bags to go back to the States. Sister Rachel, And girl, I know you watching now. You hit me on Twitter. I don't know about your choices right now. But look, I have to run to the airport. I'm headed to New Orleans tonight for Essence Music Festival. I'm the social media correspondent for Walmart this week. So please tune in, not to my YouTube, because that's not going to work this week. You need to tune in to Instagram and Facebook. You can follow all my shenanigans. And no, I'm not just running through the aisles of Walmart, but that may happen because I always forget things, and that's my go-to because they got everything at Walmart. But I got Mary J. Blige on deck. I got John Legend on deck. There's a huge lineup, and I'm in the mix of everything. Walmart has given me an all-access pass to the festival. I got VIP tickets to everything. So please tune in. Not next week. I'm not going to be able to do the review of The Bachelorette next week. Let me know what you thought of last night's episode. Let me know what you thought of the reviews. To the people who watched yesterday, I'm super sorry about the names. My bad. I'll try to keep my notes a little better, but thank you for everyone with the corrections. That's it. Thanks for watching.